I'm going to start this off with several documents in the front instead of later on because I want people to see it. I want people to understand this and actually pay attention to this whole video. It could change and save the future of children and your lives and all sorts of things. This is not a joke, and these are very serious things that we need to be considering. Look at all of the different effects that ultrasounds and ultrasonic frequencies have on the body. And these are all in full grown adults. They don't mention that. Full grown adults. Imagine a little fetus in your body, a little tiny baby, barely developed fetus that cells are just forming, its structures and genes are just forming. Imagine the tremendous amount of trauma and damage it's doing to this poor little thing inside of your body the multiple times you go in for an ultrasound. Do they ever warn you? Do they ever even say that this could be dangerous? This could cause damage? This could have side effects? No. They've indoctrinated people so much that everyone just thinks it's an everyday normal thing. They're blasting you. They might as well just be smashing you with radiation. People, things like this is what's happening to America.
So for mothers, for fathers, for people that are planning to have kids, that already have kids, mothers that are pregnant right now, going to doctor's visits and stuff like that. This is important. I was doing some research on sound, like I always do, vibrational frequencies and stuff like that. When it occurred to me that ultrasound is obviously sound, it's ultrasonic sound. And ultrasonic sound is extremely violent at a small, on a micro level. When it comes down to like quantum physics and stuff like that, and even bigger bacteria and stuff like that. So I was like, that's kind of strange. So how does it exactly affect the human body? I started wondering. But then I started wondering even more. How does it affect a fetus, a baby fetus inside of a human body? Ultrasound is moving at ultra speed. It's ultrasonic, and this sound causes cavitations and all sorts of different things to the human body. To a full-grown adult, when they use it to fight cancer, like pre-cancer treatment and stuff like that for leukemia, for tumors and things. But in a full-grown adult, it can affect the genes and a cellular structure level. It can affect you on multiple different levels for multiple different reasons. It causes the gas and the air in your body to burst into bubbles and to expand or deplete, depending. It causes the cells themselves to vibrate apart. It causes your genes and your cells to trigger, making them think that they're being fully damaged because they are, and so they start going into a healing and repairing pattern, which stops growth and stops all sorts of other parts of your body. It destroys your immune system. It does lots of other things too, including the metals in your body. It brings the metals in your body together. It makes them vibrate together, magnify whatever together, become magnetic, and it pulls them together at such unfathomable speeds. They turn into liquid. They hit almost at the speed of light. They smash together so fast, and this molds them together. The metals in your body, creating all sorts of problems and clots and things like that. And not to mention the heat transfer. It transfers heat, immense amounts of heat. So this is all happening on a very small, like cellular or even quantum level. Very, very, very small. You can't see it happening. You might not even notice the effects right away. They say, oh, well, they use the minimum amount in ultrasounds for, academic reasons and blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't really affect, is what they say. It doesn't really affect, okay, it doesn't mean it doesn't. It means it does. You just can't see it or notice it, so they're not going to tell you the difference. It doesn't matter how little bit they use. It's ultrasound. It does not matter. They say, oh, we use the lighter stuff, or we use less amount, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter what they are telling you. Use your own mind, your own logic, and your own brain to think about it for a second, because they are lying to you just like they do about everything else. It is ultrasound regardless of what words come out of their mouth. It is ultrasonic sound, vibrational frequency pounding through your cells in your body. I looked it all up, okay? I've been doing research on this for days. I tried to post it on TikTok. They immediately took it down, immediately threatened to ban my account. And when they do that kind of stuff, I know it's because that's something they don't want the public to know. That's something huge that they're profiting off of, and something that they're causing sickness and mutations and cellular structure and damage and genetic, and it's fucking terrible. I know that they're not happy about that because I showed them the research. I backed it up with several documentation, several documents of research, several scientific studies, several sources, and all that kind of stuff. They won't even look at it. They won't even look at it and say, nope, you're going to get banned. So I'm posting it here instead. Because I can't post it there, which is shitty because I have over 26,000 followers. And that's, I have a big following there. And I want people to understand this and people to know this and need to get out as fast as they possibly can. Because when you're going in to get ultrasounds for your babies that aren't even born yet, they're tiny little fetuses that are barely even developing the first time you get one. Throughout your entire pregnancy, you're getting ultrasounds. It is destroying them. Look at the world nowadays. I did this research, and you can do it yourself. It's super easy. Look up between when ultrasound started becoming popular and the genetic things like autism and all the other things that started happening too, when they started happening, and look at the correspondence between them. In the 50s is when they first started doing ultrasounds. They started experimenting with it a little bit in the 50s. In the 60s, it started growing. In the 70s and 80s, it was a regular thing. Okay, that's ultrasound. 70s, 80s. So in the 50s, they started it. 60s, they're doing it a lot. 70s and 80s is a regular, normal thing to do, right? They don't even give you a warning. They don't even tell you this might cause damage. Do you want to go through with this? Blah, 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 blah. No, they automatically do it. They automatically assume you're going to do it. And they make it seem like it's absolutely perfectly safe when it's not. And there's books and books of research on it saying it's not. But they don't want you to know that. Okay, so 50s starts a little bit. 60s, they're using it. But then 70s and 80s, they're really using it. Right? That's when all the sickness and all the genetic mutations and all this stuff started happening. Same thing with like vegetable oils and food dyes and colors and stuff too. But that kind of stuff is a lot different and it gets spread out a lot differently. This was an everything, everyday thing for everybody, for every mother. It's basically a requirement. And they don't even ask you, they don't give you an option, they don't try to warn you, nothing. They just automatically give you ultrasounds. And I know that that's why they do that, why they've indoctrinated people to make it seem like it's not dangerous and to make it seem so everyday thing, so casual. Because they don't want you to even think about it. They don't want you to even process it or even understand. They don't want you to even look in that direction and think that it's a possibility that, oh, this thing might be damaging us. Because as soon as you realize that ultrasound is moving at ultrasonic speeds, vibrating your cellular structure on a cellular level, and genetically modifying and destroying you, causing cavitations and oh my gosh, I'll show you some of the documents, but people, we need to be aware of this. Every hospital visit, they should give you at least a warning. They should tell you to do some research first before you get an ultrasound. They should say, hey, before we do this, I want you to know this. And you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Anybody with a logical mind, anybody who can think for themselves, anybody who can look and read a fucking single document could see, if they seen this research, they would never get an ultrasound in their entire life. They're killing not only themselves, but their babies. They're destroying their lives and their potential before they're even born. This is disgusting that we're doing this. And that they have fucking books and books and books of research from different fields of science proving this, and they won't even release it to the public or even tell people or give them a fucking warning. What the hell?